I'm live on Ranty Flat Earth tomorrow at 6 p.m. UK time, doing more of this Apollo moon landing stuff. And then I'm live again tomorrow later at 11:30 UK time with my Debate Flat Earth and More show. So, and that's on the channel Debate Flat Earth and More. And my Discord server, of course, is always available to all. I don't know. There must be a link for it somewhere, Jose. Ask Jose for a link.
On the description box is a link for your channel, Debate Flat Earth and More, for the Sunday roast, and there's a link also for the Discord.
Cool. Thank you very much. Ask Jose for a link.
On the description box is a link for your channel, Debate Flat Earth and More, for the Sunday roast, and there's a link also for.
No, actually, you are the one who pronounces the right way from all of the people that I knew about. Well, about this debate, it was really less heated than what I'm used to. I'm pleasantly surprised, so I'll be sure to come back, and this was really a blast.
Thank you very much. Welcome anytime. Yeah, there's a lot of people, but there's always an opportunity to everything go down under control and have a nice discussion like today. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you, Milivan. Brian, 22.
Thanks for having me on, Jose. I eventually got on. I didn't get to talk about the things that I was hoping to talk about, maybe another time. The whole NASA thing is something that I've only watched mostly other people's stuff about. So I don't really argue much about space and that kind of thing, as it's not something that I can prove or disprove. So that's why I don't really argue much about it. I enjoyed it, and I'll be back again.
Thank you very much. Hannah Anderson, on mute now. Final thoughts. Let's give it 3 seconds. No? Okay. Pass. Schrodinger's cat.
Yes, sir. My one thought about what happened just now is that if you want to overturn a model, you have to bring a better model. They just won't do that. They won't even attempt to do it. With that said, tonight's going to be a big night. It's Team Skeptic debate, followed by Fight the Flat Earth debate, followed by my debate. It's going to be pretty good. Red's Rhetoric will be moderating for Craig from Fight the Flat Earth. He'll be debating Spurkismo, and I'll be debating Zoom Truth on Fight the Flat Earth channel with Jared from 82 Production as the moderator. It's going to be a good night and a ton of fun, so everybody tune in if you can. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And with your participations in this channel, I know you have gather more of your thoughts and learn, the techniques about the debates and all the stuff. So yeah, good luck. Looking forward to see it. To listen to it. I'll be at work, but I'll listen to it. All right. Let's go with 2 more. We got StingRay. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out a quick point that I looked up just now, and that's that everybody always quotes NASA and NASA can lie and all this kind of stuff, but there are 60 other space agencies, and the next NASA only accounts for a global spend of about half of what is there for the other space agencies. Yes, it's by far the biggest, but it's not all. ESA and China and Russia spend a hell of a lot on this, and they're kicking out images as well. So when you say NASA images are fake, well, yes, every other space agency has loads of images produced on a daily basis. So I encourage people to go look into that. But anyway, great show again, Jose, and thanks.
Jose, you're muted.
Whoops.
Thank you. I was away from the keyboard for a second. Now, last one but not least, Wolfgang. Final thoughts, bro.
Not much to say. Basically, shout out to Fish Guy. And Earth is flat. No, it's not flat. It's globe. Boom.
Boom. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have to talk to Fish Guy to show up a little bit more over these places. Let me see if the camera will come on and I can click on my icon. No, it's broken today. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you very much for watching. Please watch the beginning if you came in late. It was really good hangout overall. Going to work. See you later with another one. Boom. Yeah.
Have a good day, Jose.
Thank you.
And I got in there
Good day,
finally.
everyone.
I finally found my mic.
Schrodinger's,
Right, last minute.
Well, there's Hannah.
Schrodinger's, I won't be able to watch you because I'm banned over there at that prick's fucking channel.
I will. You know what? He's on Discord right now. I will ask him to unban me.
You better ask him to apologize.
I
Probably one
will
of his
do
mods
so
did
as
it,
well,
you.
and I
What's
will
that?
send you.
What's that, Hannah?
Oh, I said probably just one of his mods did it.
No, he
Yeah.
did it. He did it. He wrote me a
It-
terrible email and everything.
It's fine. I'll send you an email.
Flat Earth
as
Disciple, hot mic.
Somebody's got way big background noise. Okay, I'm sending him a message right now and asking him to unban you, and I'll send you an email as to what he says.
Well, you telling me you saw the email he sent me?
Yeah, I did see that email, and I have spoken to him about it twice.
Telling me you
And
saw
what's
the
his
email he
attitude?
sent me?
I don't know. Well, I got one. My first response that I got from him was negative, but I've actively been working on him about it, and
He's
I will
a dick,
continue
dude. He's a dick.
to. He's
He sure can be.
he can be, but he's my friend. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I'm just going to continue to try to edge him in the direction that I think is correct, and that's the best I can do.
Wait a minute, I don't know whether that's worse, Schrodinger. You saying that you can't badmouth him and give in criticism, but what you're going to do is slowly control him to be the way that you want.
No.
Are you on your channel, Dean, so I can paste the link? Or
Yeah.
I'm straight.
Yeah, no, I've got it. It's live now.
Okay. So I can share the link before everybody leaves.
I'll just dump it in the side chat.
Okay,
in the
do it.
thingy, yeah.
Say after show. Yeah. There you go.
I'm not going to try to control him. I'm going to try to influence him. There's a difference.
Do we ever get semantical?
Well,
I would hope that what you would do is that you would be honest with your friends and to help them be the best versions of themselves that they could ever be.
I am doing exactly that in a delicate way.
Why do you have to be so
some
delicate
friends
with him?
can't take that.
Why do you have to be so delicate with a guy who's such a dick to everyone else?
Please, Channel Q. You're my friend. He's my friend. Please don't drag me in the middle of it. I'm trying to do.
I didn't care. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to be there because I'm banned. That's all. You don't have to do anything.
No.
I didn't ask you to.
You will be unbanned, and I'll send you an email confirming that because I want you to listen.
Yeah, but if he's a dick, and then I don't know, do I feel comfortable if he is a dick and he personally doesn't like me for whatever character flaw he has? And am I 2 seconds away from being banned for anything I say? Is you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I was
I'm
banned
sorry,
there for a while, channel.
No, were you? For what?
I have no idea. But I talked to him about it and he unbanned me.
Yeah, he's got me blocked on email. He sent me a horrible email and then blocked me, so I couldn't even respond to it.
What was it over?
His stupid first hangout stream that he did.
When he got porn bombed.
Yeah, because he started a hangout through YouTube, through Hangouts, and then started putting the link in the chat. And I was like, dude, you don't want to do it this way.
Well, that's a silly reason.
And I went in there to tell him he doesn't want to do it
blame
this way. And he just called me an idiot. And then he told me I was an idiot because I was a flat earther. And then I told him I wasn't a flat earther, that I was a glober. And I was telling him, you don't want to do your link this way. And then he told me if I wasn't a flat earther, then I was an even bigger idiot. And I was wasting his time and I needed to get the fuck off of his channel.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Total misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was a terrible misunderstanding, and he was a terrible person.
Who
And
are we
apparently
talking about?
still
So I can
is.
be cautious?
Fight
Oh,
the
just
Flat Earth.
Reds.
No, I'm talking about
Fight the Flat Earth did that? Or Reds?
Yes.
Fight the Flat Earth.
Oh, I've not been banned off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Don't really go there.
I've never been banned on Reds or anybody's like that.
Sorry,
Just Fight the
my
Flat Earth
misunderstanding.
and not. Well, then after Fight the Flat Earth, he banned me from Team Skeptic's channel. He banned me from Red's Rhetoric's channel, and he banned me from the Non Sequitur Show's channel.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just sent him a message asking him to please unblock you. I'll let you know.
Yeah, there's some guys out here. I don't know. They're potatoes.
Well, I'm not.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
Hey, Blue. There's my favorite voice on YouTube.
Hello, Hannah. How are you?
I'm good.
Hannah, I
Let
don't think
me
you and I
ask
have
Hannah.
ever
So Hannah,
talked,
let me ask Hannah something. I gotta get
Yes.
out of here really quick. Feedback, Hannah. In my show, what do you think changes the evolution of the show? Because I've seen you for a little while. Not maybe from the beginning, or have you? Well, give me some feedback on the show. What can I tweak around to make it better for you guys?
No, I think you're doing a great job. Really, giving a platform for everybody and keeping it in under control and civil. That's all that's required, really.
Yeah, cool.
Hey,
Appreciate it. I mean, I use my own discernment on what needs kind of was stepping over the line. I think I'm okay on calling this out. Sometimes I go a little harsh and a little rough, but it's got to be done because people got to learn a lesson, you know? So,
So
yeah.
far,
Yeah,
it's
no,
been
I
okay.
totally agree. It's if you let people run all over you, then that's exactly what they'll do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hannah, I don't think you and I have ever spoken directly other than through chat. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, you too. No,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm on Jim's Discord a lot, and I have fun in there. Gets kind of crazy, but it can be fun. We don't always talk about the flat Earth, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's good just to get on here and talk to people.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
one of the originals who was on Andre Sensi's Flat Earth Debates group.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 5 more minutes. 5 more
new-
minutes. I'm gonna share the link of this meetup on Dean's chat. If anybody want to join, do it now because then you will not gonna be able to join. So do it now.
Dude, Jose, your live already ended.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yes.
in Dean it's live on Dean channel.
Oh, I know. I
StingRay.
thought you were talking to your audience, so it
No,
confused me.
on StingRay channel, on Dean channel. If anybody want to
I'm
click, I'm
watching
gonna
it.
post the link. If Dean allow me to. Okay.
You
Real
always have
quick,
an after
real
show.
quick,
Dang, guys,
folks,
it's at
this is
55
important.
subs. What the hell, people?
This is important. Channel Q, you are now unblocked from Fight the Flat Earth.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, you are unblocked. And correction, Team Skeptic is not debating. He's just going to do a live stream. But Channel Q, please come watch because you are unblocked because of my godlike powers.
Yeah. I love Team
Sweet.
Skeptic. He's funny as hell.
Well, I'm only going to watch just to support you, and then I'm never going to watch his channel again.
That's
'Cause I
fine.
didn't get the apology part. You know,
I'm still working on that.
you don't have to. You don't bother.
I feel like I want to.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do stuff with godlike powers, please go get the children in Mexico out of cages at the border.
Oh,
Thank you.
jeez.
Okay, I'm going to do that after my debate.
What's
They are
going
not
on
in
in America?
cages. What the heck, Channel Q? Really? In cages?
That's
Yeah,
what
they
the
are in
freaking
cages.
Democrats told me, dude. They
No.
platformed out the fact that there are children in cages, and 7 of them have already died.
So you want to? What do you want to do? You want to have them
I
at
want
your
to
house?
get a Statue of Liberty costume
Will-
and go to the border and say free the
Will
children.
will you open your house for these people?
For children? I got a
Yes.
6-bedroom house. Well, I mean, yeah, I could take some
She does
children.
it for kitties. Why not children?
I'd rather children be not separated from their parents and put in cages
Okay,
and then
so
die.
you will open your house then.
To take children in, yeah.
All
They'd
right,
let me.
excellent. That's what everybody needs to do and quit whining. Say, okay, I'll take these people.
How? How am I going to be
Exactly.
allowed to take them in if they're considered illegal?
They are illegal.
But they're just
What?
children.
Yeah, who brought them in? Their parents. Who are the ones responsible? Nobody said, "Hey, come over here." They decided to do it themselves. They're the ones responsible.
Oh,
I know,
Carlos,
but I
come
don't
on.
feel like
Have
the
some
children
humanity.
should have to suffer for the bad choices of their parents.
Exactly.
I agree.
That's life. That's life.
Okay.
If I decide to throw all my money away by gambling, guess what? My children are gonna have to deal with the consequences. That's my responsibility, not the government.
Well, then why is the
The same-
government
the same
putting people?
applies.
Why is the government putting the kids in cages and taking responsibility then?
So you say that they need to take responsibility. Now you say that don't need to take responsibility. What are you talking about?
No, because they separated the children from their parents because
No,
they
wait.
deported the
They can't-
parents,
hang
but
on.
they don't want to
They-
deport the
Channel.
children.
They
Q.
can't. They, go ahead.
Okay, one, they don't know that those children are with their actual parents. That's an actual problem at the border. So separating minors from the adults to verify that those adults are actually the parents or guardians of those children is important, and it's a safety concern for the children.
And if the parents know that it's a possibility that they're going to be separated by crossing the border illegally, and they still do it, who's the person responsible for separating families? The people who are coming here knowingly, or us trying to investigate to make sure they actually are their
I think
children?
the problem is you're not understanding is these people were living in America for years with these children.
No, they were not.
Then they went and rounded up a bunch of people and they put them at the border and they deported the adults, but they kept the children at the border. They detained the children at the border because they didn't want to send the children back to Mexico.
Wait a second.
They want to try to give the children
That's not what's going
adopted
on.
out. They're trying to adopt the children out. That's what the Democrats said.
They didn't catch them at the
How
the
many
border?
of you watched the debate and listened to what the people who are running for president of America are saying happened?
Yeah.
Where's the link to StingRay's hangout?
I'll get it for you.
It's a fucked up mess. That's the bottom line.
But wait a second. They didn't catch them at the border?
No, they took them out of America. They're living in America illegally.
Illegally?
For some
Oh,
amount of
there's your
time.
first problem.
For some amount of time, in some cases years. And then an initiative went out to round up all the people that are living illegally. And so they deported all of the persons over 18, but they detained the persons under 18 at the border because they didn't want to send them back to Mexico. They want to try to fast track them into citizenship by adopting them out.
Yeah,
but this is what the
having a
Democrats are
problem with
saying,
it.
right?
So at the end of the day, it's going to be a better life, which was the whole point of being here illegally, right?
Well, they're dying in a cage.
Dying. So the point here is that they were here illegally. I don't think that's what's going on, but whatever. At the end of the day, the people were here illegally. What do you think? What do you think would happen if you go over there illegally? Why is it all of a sudden the United States?
You know, the lines on the ground don't really exist. They're
Oh
just
my
figments
gosh.
of our imagination. We're all
That's what I'm-
brothers and sisters.
No, there's laws. Supposed to follow the law.
Where were the kids actually being held, Q?
In the detention center at the border somewhere.
Okay.
Lots of them in Texas and Arizona.
Yeah,
I mean-
Texas
Big,
border.
big tent cities.
I mean, when you say they're being held in a cage, that does evoke a
That's
pretty
what the
emotional
Democrats
response,
said.
but-
I'm
okay.
just quoting what they said. That's their platform, is that children are being held in cages.
Yeah, that's a horrible sounding thing.
That's what they all say, all of them.
It sounds a bit like hyperbole.
Well, they're detention centers with big steel cages, basically.
They don't have anybody to take care of
large
them. The
jail
kids are
cells.
taking care of each other.
Whose fault is that? Who brought him here illegally?
Oh, Jose, come on.
Well, I'm not Jose, but okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, I was just reading Jose's name. Carlos. Y'all sound alike, right?
Slightly racist.
I could use that against you, but I won't because we do
That's not
sound
a
alike.
race, it's an ethnicity.
I know. Oh my gosh.
We're all the human.
Go ahead.
It's not really Carlos, that's Aristarchus.
That is
there you go.
That's getting involved. I need to stop. But it's funny still.
Oh,
We need to help improve conditions in South America. That's mainly the huge.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. That's not our responsibility. See, that's the point. When people keep saying that it's our responsibility, look, the United States is the United States. Mexico
it's
is
cheaper
Mexico.
to do that than to just put them all
Listen,
in detention
really?
centers.
Look, we send all kinds of help to different third world countries. And then on top of that, now we have to allow people to come here illegally, that they're not going to pay taxes. We cannot keep up with them because they're here illegally, and then they start using our what's it called, the welfare and Medicaid, when they're not actually putting money back into the system. That's a
I don't
problem.
think you've looked into it very deeply because A lot of
Okay.
people who are here without papers do pay taxes.
No.
No, that's not the
Okay.
case.
Okay.
Look, actually, I can say this. But
Wait.
first of all,
How can you
How
live
is
in
it-
America and not pay taxes?
Yeah, you
There
can.
are people that
Every
Every
work
time
do
you
pay
buy
taxes.
a bottle of water, you pay tax.
it's
Oh,
called paying under the table.
What about when you buy a bottle of water? How do you pay for that under the table?
You're talking about sales tax. That's not anything.
Yeah, that's sales tax. We're talking about when you hire
What
somebody.
about property taxes?
You can't own property if you're not a U.S. citizen like that.
But
Channel Q. We're talking about these guys are working. They're getting paid cash under the table, and then
for American citizens.
Listen. Yeah, that too. That's a problem too. These people are actually sending, a big percentage of that money back to another country. It's not being spent here. That's a big problem also.
They have to eat, so some of it is being spent here.
Yeah, but a big look. I've worked with Hispanic people. I've worked as an interpreter at the hospital. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I've been around that community here in Alabama, especially. I'm telling you, a lot of that money is being sent. At least 40% of the income they make is being sent back and not being spent here. Now, the people complain, say, "Oh, they're putting all these kids in these cages all together." Have you ever gone to a trailer and see how many people are living in one trailer and paying splitting up the bill to pay basically like $200 a piece for all the amenities? And there's like
you act like as if they have a choice.
Yeah, they have a choice. Stay
You
in
act
their
like as
country
if they all have a choice, and who has a choice?
Stay in their country and
I
work
wonder
to make it better.
I wonder if we put a mansion with 20 rooms and 4 bathrooms and a pool right next to the trailer, how many of them would stay living in the trailer?
What I'm saying, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is
The point I'm making is that lives and money are not equatable.
Fair enough.
I don't care about the money, and I don't care about the invisible lines on the ground. I care about whether or not
that's a problem.
human beings create society
lines on the ground don't mean anything to you?
actually sustain equality, or whether or not society is creating a society that is highly judgmental and decides some humans are this and some humans are that.
A society is built on humans.
Listen, go ahead.
Sitting there saying that society this, society that, I hate to say this, but all societies, every single society ever is comprised of individual humans.
Thanks for stating the obvious.
Let me finish. Yeah, I know, but you're sitting there going, well, I didn't. Society this, society that. But here's the thing about the lines and borders and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, but we're a territorial animal. That is, you can't sit there and
I'm
go
not
back
a territorial animal.
I know, we took it all too.
Time out.
Yes, speak for yourself, dude.
As far back as you can, in history and even prehistory, we have created lines in the sand. Okay, it's just that's our nature. That is
and needless killing and war and famine and tyrants and dictators and torture and all kinds of terrible devices for causing agony and pain and strife on one another. And your point is?
And all okay, so you
say just because at one point we were volatile and archaic, we should never change or outgrow or learn to be more peaceful or accepting or tolerant because at one point we weren't.
You're saying we're not now?
I would like to think that we've progressed over these years to become more peaceful, less archaic.
So you're saying that we've progressed?
And I would like to see that progression continue. And I think part of that progression continuing would be letting go of things such as creed and color and country.
Why?
Because they create petty disputes and war and famine and strife. And instead of a society of sharing and caring, it's a society of this is mine and I'm not responsible.
So we should be like Pandora then.
We should realize that we all live on the same planet and we all need the same things. And we're all in this together.
That's not how we work.
Well, that might be why we
died. Look, Channel Q, we should all be nice to each other. We should all help each other out.
These are not the things I've said. These are not the things that I've said.
Yeah, but it is.
What isn't? I said we should realize that we all live on the same planet and we all need each other.
Exactly, but that doesn't mean that it's our responsibility to help all these other terrible countries.
Why are they terrible countries?
I said third world countries. I said it's.
That sounds like you said terrible.
Because of the people.
They're terrible too. Yeah. I grew up in
Yeah,
one.
but why are they terrible? Are they terrible because richer countries with more power and more weapons and more developments had gone in and raped them of their resources and their people and caused devastation to them continually for years and years? Bombed their cities, bombed their hospitals.
Why do they want to come here, Q?
Because they're told that this is where they can be. Because America represents
that's the problem.
place
So we
where
need
they
to change
can
that. We need to
experience
stop telling
equality
them
and
they can
freedom
come here
instead of bombing and death and famine.
Yeah, they want to come. They want to come here because they think we got more than they got, so they want
That's
some
why
of it too.
I think they want to come here because they don't want to get dragged out into the jungle and raped again.
Why not go to another?
Oh my gosh, the jungle. Really? That's like back in the freaking 70s.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Why don't you go and take a look at what goes on in refugee camps in Africa right now?
I'm talking about Central and South
I don't think
America.
you guys really
Should
have
we go
looked.
back to Earth's shape?
What?
And I have to
never
go,
mind.
unfortunately.
I'm talking about like Central America and South America. Yeah, I'm sure. I do know that that's going on in Africa. So yeah, that's a problem in itself.
What happened in Argentina? What about what's happening in Venezuela? What about what's happening in Honduras? Women are safe there? Women aren't being raped there?
They're being,
The police investigate when women are raped there?
Yeah, that's are you talking about the communist countries like Venezuela?
I'm talking where some of my brothers and sisters live and suffer.
Yeah,
Because their
so
human rights aren't protected.
But that's
And
not our
they want to seek
responsibility.
asylum
That's
and they
not
want to
our
live in a country
responsibility.
where
That's not
human
our
rights are
responsibility.
respected.
Oh, I
That's
know
not
what you're
you-
saying, Q. I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying. You want people to behave right, and I do too.
Right.
I wish they would.
But it's not our responsibility.
Unfortunately, people are don't always do that, and very unfortunately, man is a predatory animal, whether you like it or not. We just are.
Yes, for
But
sure.
we,
think that's
you,
just an
and
excuse.
everyone
You
can't
don't
help
have to
everyone
be that.
else.
Man doesn't have to decide that his fate is that he's predatory. Man doesn't have to
There's
decide
too
that
little
he is
of
anything
us
because
good
man is
people.
intelligent and adaptable, and we can realize how we harm ourselves by like smoking cigarettes and then decide not to do that anymore. So how long in the progression until we realize that war harms us?
Oh, okay, absolutely.
We're not arguing that. You said men can adapt, but why don't they adapt in their own country?
Why don't we just abolish countries and all become the world?
That's not how that
Because
works.
that's not how that works. It doesn't work well.
We already are
evolved,
that.
you.
We already are that. And all
So
this
you
other
think-
shit that you drew and pretended, that's all made up.
So you think we should
But
distribute
actually,
wealth?
we're just a bunch of human beings made of flesh and bone living on a rock hurtling through space. And then nothing you can dream up or contract or write in a paper with fancy writing that's ever going to change that fact.
Nobody's arguing that.
Well, that's the thing is you're avoiding it. You're avoiding it by drawing all these lines and trying to pretend that it's something else other than that.
But
Other than a
that's the
planet
system we
that
are
has
in
trees
right
that belong
now.
to everyone, and skies that belong to everyone, and food that belongs to everyone, and space and water that belongs to everyone.
We
We're
have
not
to play
sharing
by
it.
the
We're not
rules
sharing it.
that are
We're not sharing it.
in
We're
the
pretending like
place.
some people aren't worthy of it for whatever reason we decide.
Wait.
I've heard you all here tell me how you know that there are people who live in terrible countries or people who don't behave right for some reason. They don't deserve the earth they were born on.
Nobody said they don't deserve it. I'm just saying that's not our
But
responsibility.
it's
It
their
is.
It's their responsibility to fight for it
And there's
damn
another point I
selves.
could make. If you live on a planet and you think that you have freedom and rights, but you know there's most people around you don't, how long until you don't? We don't have rights and freedom until we all have rights and freedom.
May I? I have a very precise question. Let us say that there is a country that is, for the moment, really good, but it becomes shitty. You know, all the things that you described. Do we have a responsibility to send military or anything like that to solve the problem? Do we have a responsibility for those people
problem of
at the
what?
other side of the world? That's just the question. I want your opinion about it.
I think the people have a responsibility to all people. And I think if we work together on the problems of the world, we could solve them better than if we keep drawing arbitrary lines
Kumbaya,
and
my
singling
lord.
certain people out.
No, please, I want to
Kumbaya.
hear. Please, I want to hear the
I have
answer.
to go.
I'm interested
go.
in it. I don't
Goodbye.
agree, but I'm interested in it.
Goodbye. I have to go.
Oh, you guys.
Sorry.
That's my bad. I started singing Kumbaya.
Yeah, I really wanted to hear the whole
She
story.
had to go anyways, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's a
all I'm
complex
saying,
problem.
all I'm saying is that all people do is throw responsibility in the United States when it's not their responsibility. We're already doing enough helping other countries, sending help. You know what happens when you start just sending help and giving things out like they did in Nicaragua back in the 70s? Every time they see North Americans, they're expecting for them to give them something. And it's just this mentality of entitlement and doesn't help anybody. What you do is you help our country better themselves on their own.
Yes.
You didn't just give. That's what needs to happen. And we've done that. We send programs, all kind of help. But the problem is that
No, there's a lot of violence and gang activity and cartels and
I don't disagree with Q's idealistic viewpoints, and it would be wonderful if it would work that way.
Yeah.
The problem is the moment you erase those lines on the ground that she doesn't like,
it's free for all.
It's a shame that we have to have them, but the minute you erase those lines, that predatory nature of man takes over, and I guarantee you, some son of a bitch is going to decide he likes my stuff better than he likes his stuff,
Right.
and he's going to take my stuff away from me.
See, one way that we get progress and advance is by having order. And how do you have order?
It has to be.
defining
Unfortunately, it has to be forced.
I have a simple point that I'd like to make. If my neighbor is starving, is he justified into walking into my house and raiding my refrigerator?
No. Well, if it's according to Channel Q, there's no such thing as lines in the ground, and that would mean there's no such things as fences or walls. So according to her, yeah, they can do whatever they want because it's their earth. You have to share it.
Yeah, why do you lock your door, you monster?
you can help them build a garden.
Yeah, no, I think that it is my duty as a good person to help my neighbor.
I agree with you.
But
no, you should, but it's not your responsibility.
Correct. It's just out of the goodness of my heart. But I will not abide someone walking into my house and taking steak out of my freezer.
Right, you can't force me to be compassionate or to be charitable, but I should as a human. So that's the thing. That's the difference. That you're gonna force people. Oh, you need to let them in. No, it's not a responsibility. I can be compassionate, but it's not my responsibility.
Yeah, so far, because everyone doesn't share Channel Q's point of view, I think the people in history, when the Mongols arrived and raided and pillaged everywhere, people were glad they built castles and fortifications and borders and armies, etc.
Look, I just really get very passionate about this topic because I grew up in Central America in a third world country, and I have a not a unique or better perspective, but I do have a good understanding of seeing both sides, not because of my ethnicity or anything. I just my experience and seeing and knowing people, and it's like Go ahead.
But if the immigration from third world countries is too fast, they bring the third world country with them.
Say that again.
So if the immigration is too fast, they bring the problems with them.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem when they're saying, "Hey, we want U.S. citizenship." So, all right, take this test, learn the language, and then get injected into the community. And yeah, there might be some things that you bring from your culture, whatever. But yeah, it's got to be a right way to introduce them to our country or whatever. Or if you just allow people to come in and with the I mean, what the heck? A lot of people who are coming here illegally hate Trump. What the heck are you doing here? Like, what is that going to create? Like, they hate the United States. They burn the flag, whatever. But I said, well, why are you doing here? So why should we allow people that hate the country, hate the president, hate the people, but yet they're coming here to make money or whatever?
That's
like,
funny.
So once you allow them to have a say on the country and vote or whatever, like, do they really have any interest on the country or whatever? Just their own interest.
Just
That's
money.
originally the reason here, And like I said, I understand that. Yeah, some people have bad conditions that they live in, But shoot, everybody's eating a third sandwich. Some are eating bigger ones than the other ones. But then you have to deal with it.
Mostly about money.
It's always about money and resources. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish they would do something where they say, hey, pay this amount of money, we'll make you a U.S. citizen, and then get injected into the community, pay taxes, learn the language. That'd be great. But the problem is that it's not that simple. Is it their fault for coming here? Is whose fault is it about as far as immigration? It's really it's two sides of the thing. It started happening. People just took advantage. Pay very little money for labor, and it happened more and more and more. And then people kept coming. So and now it's gotten to the point that we can't just cut it off. There's just we let it happen too much, and it just got out of control. So we can't just point at one group of people and say it's their fault. Yeah,
No, of course not.
The United States also has a little bit on it. People like
migrant workers are a big part of our economy.
Yeah, we need them.
Right. So the problem is that we have people taking advantage of that for so long, and really a lot of people have fault, but at the end of the day, they are coming here illegally.
Well,
and that's the one thing that
the real problem. The problem is this damn flat Earth we live on. If the Earth was curved, it would be a lot easier to keep those sumbitches on the other side of the curve. But it's flat, so they just walk straight across.
They would have to climb the bulge. They would have to climb a bulge.
Yeah.
We just need a big moat with a bunch of alligators. That'll solve it.
It doesn't work. The British Empire sent all these people, all these criminals in Australia, and some decades after, they founded the country.
Yeah,
that's true.
Hey, StingRay.
People organized themselves, and it's good.
Wait a minute.
Where you at, Dean?
Where's StingRay? He's
sleeping.
He's riding his scooter.
Oh.
No, he chimed in. Dean.
He's not listening.
I
want to tell him I liked it. I like the last point he made, pointing out the fact that pointing out to these guys the fact that there are 60 damn space agencies, not just
Come
NASA.
to Finland. We have best education in the world.
Yes, that's true.
I don't doubt that.
But it's too damn cold.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's more
but it's
rainy
only
than
most
anything.
of the year.
Only most.
All right, I gotta go. Aristarchus out.
Aristarchus.
See you, Carlos.
We'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight. Who knows?
Okay.
See you.
Bye, Hannah. Later. Good to meet you.
I spent a lot of time in Sweden. They're pretty good too.
Do you ever notice that flat earthers never do some of these observations, either using a camera or a laser or anything like that in the fall in a cloudy climate?
No.
Yeah, the only experiments they ever do almost seem to be purposely sabotaged to give ambiguous results.
Oh, yeah.
And the photos are taken in the worst case scenario of the weather.
Yeah. I watched MC Tunes debates, I guess you want to call it, with Chris Berry. The only evidence, if you want to call it that, only evidence that Chris Berry produced was a photo of just massive amounts of atmospheric distortion. Bright, sunny, hot day, obviously. That was it. That was his evidence for the flat Earth at that time. That I get it. I understand why they're doing it because they're cherry picking on purpose.
It's like the Bible. You can read into that photo whatever you like to see in that. Like you can see the things you want to see in those hazy photos.
That's right. They're not interested in finding out.
No, it's about
what's going on.
confirmation. Yeah, it's about confirmation bias.
Yeah.
If they were, they would be listening a little bit more.
Total cognitive dissonance, just like that bullshit that Aardvark was coming up with, Arwen, whatever his name is. Just like that crap he was coming up with early in this hangout. The kid makes no sense whatsoever. He has no idea what he's talking about, but he's not going to shut up. Chris Berry's the same way.
I thought it was hilarious that MC Toon was doing a Rubik's Cube for the entire thing. Oh, I mentioned this in I think day before yesterday or yesterday in one of the hangouts after it went off air. I've been asking flat earthers a various question. I have yet to get a response. Right? Now you can break it up into three different. Start it off slow so that they can catch it. They can kind of like follow along. But I asked them, what do they believe? Like what's the distance that the sun travels around the equator during the equinox?
Were they able to answer?
No.
Go figure.
And I know. I don't. But you ask them. Well, you can start out slow and say, "Hey, what's the length of the equator?"
Yeah, they have a hard time with that one too. Supposedly, their flat Earth map conforms to at least along lines of longitude. The distances are accurate.
Right.
So that would tell you that it's from the North Pole. It should be what 6,200, 6,250 or whatever to the equator.
So no, not to the equator. The actual length of the equator.
Yeah, that gives you the radius of the equator.
That's true. That's true.
And from that, you should be able to figure out what the circumference is. Even a flat earther should be able to figure out what the circumference is.
You would think that every last one of them who's been in it for years and years would be able to go, oh, okay, well, the equator is this long.
Yeah. They can't tell you.
Dead simple.
They can't tell you.
Well, no. But they'll tell you how the Earth is they'll tell you how the Earth isn't this, these are impossible that, yada, yada, yada. So the follow-up question after they either tell you what the equator is or you have to walk through, and then you walk through what would be the distance on a flat Earth that the sun would have to travel, which would, of course, be the same distance, right?
Yep.
On the equinox, the sun would be traveling on the equator. So it would be directly parallel to it. Then the next logical question is, okay, what's the linear velocity? To do one 24-hour circuit, what would be the linear velocity?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was right now. I was on Stellarium. You know what I would love is that we can find someone from South America and someone from South Africa, or with an Australian or anyone who can look at the sky at the same moment during night and say, at the same moment, I see the chameleon or the octant or the anything, the same constellations at the very same moment. I figured that would shut them up for a little while. Like, guys, can you explain this? At the very same moment, they are supposed to be looking at completely opposite direction. How can you explain that?
I'll tell you how that'll go. They'll say, "Oh, really? Well, what about the da 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 da?" and they'll just go off in some other direction. That's what they'll do every time.
Infinite regress deflection.
Yeah.
We should hold their feet to the fire for that.
I don't think they have any feet.
They're burned all the way to the knee at this point.
Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I got to get ready for work.
Yeah, I think I better head out and rest up or something.
Yeah, I got tons of debate prep still to do.
Oh yeah, you got a big night, don't you?
Yeah, I over prepare for these things, but it always seems to, in the past, it has always seemed to pay off. So I do way more work than is probably required, but I don't want to get caught saying something stupid. So
who are you up against tonight?
A guy called Zoom Truth. He's one of the ones that likes to go out onto the street and scream at people about how the Earth is flat.
My favorite kind.
Yeah, it's my favorite kind of people to beat up because he and this guy is particularly a piece of shit because he likes to target kids. And,
take him out at the knees.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing putting kids that are not your kids on YouTube?
Oh, buddy, that's butt stroke to the chin right there.
Yeah, so I'm going to very slyly and in a roundabout way take him out and then twist the knife towards the end. That's my game plan, and I'm pretty sure he's not listening, so he has no idea what's coming. He's not particularly bright, so tune in. It's gonna be fun.
Even on the flat earther scale.
I'm sorry. Say again.
Yeah, you said he's not particularly bright, even on the flat earther scale.
He's a follower.
Yeah.
So basically, there's this website called Flat Earth 101, and he parrots what that says word for word. He follows
the codex.
Yeah. So I'm not anticipating a whole lot of pushback, but just like a boxer, I'm not going to step into the ring without doing my homework. So
nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, I've got a couple more hours of prep. I've got a slideshow that I'm going to show, and I've listened to nearly everything he's put out on YouTube. And unless he came up with something new in the last 24 hours, it's going to be a slaughter.
So this is happening on Fight the Flat Earth channel.
Yeah, at 8 p.m. Eastern, but tune in early because Craig is going to be debating Spurkismo prior to.
How many hours is till that time?
I'm scheduled, I think, from 8 Eastern until about 10 Eastern. And Craig and Spurkismo are probably, I think they'll probably start about 5 p.m. Eastern. And Red's Rhetoric will be moderating that. So,
but how many hours till it begins?
Oh, okay. So it's 1:45 right now. So
in 6 hours and a quarter?
6 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be like 2 a.m. for me.
Yeah, same here.
You can do it. You gotta want it. You buckle down.
All right.
Try real hard and make a pot of strong coffee.
Yeah, but what difference does real-time involvement make in this circumstance? Why can't we just watch it on replay?
Yeah.
There we go.
Not like you can do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I typically, I mean, some of these run late even for me on the East Coast, and a lot of times I'll watch or listen to about half of it, and then the rest of it the next morning.
Hey, Dean.
But
yeah.
Hey, I wanted to tell you, I appreciate you pointing out to these nitwits that there's more than one space agency out there.
Oh, there's tons of them. I have no idea.
And you know, not to be an obnoxious bastard, even though I am an obnoxious bastard, I really sometimes want to say, you know what, motherfucker, I pay for NASA. You don't pay shit for NASA. You want to bitch about it? Go bitch at the European Space Agency.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off of NASA. That's mine. You go play with your boys.
Well, in in terms of GDP, raw GDP, Russia spends just as much percentage on space as NASA does, percentage-wise.
Yeah.
However, NASA, in its entire spends 39% of all global spent on space travel, but that leaves 60% going elsewhere. So
Right.
it's like they're not, even as a single entity, they're not the majority.
That's
Yeah,
right.
did I tell you all the numbers yesterday that I had run in prep for my debate about NASA budget?
No.
Okay, so the DoD budget, the Department of Defense, U.S. Department of Defense, in 2019 paid $686 billion for the Department of Defense budget. NASA, since its inception, has taken in $601 billion. That's
Wow.
all the way back in the 50s. So 1 year DoD budget is larger than NASA's entire budget since its inception. And in 2019, NASA will take in $21.5 billion
It's beyond
versus
comparison.
$686 billion for the DoD. It's
Yeah.
a rounding error.
No, honestly, like I said, Cliff, the entertainment spend in the United States for visual effects houses and any kind of VFX or editing work outstrips NASA on per year by quite a margin. It's
Right.
that simple.
It's a rounding error. It's absolutely nothing.
For all the stuff those guys do, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's not bad. And did you? And also, have you figured out all the breakthrough technologies in avionics, aviation, ground transport, electronics that NASA projects have been directly responsible for?
Right.
Not to mention that the whole world takes advantage of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Well,
As a European, I can tell.
Yeah.
Just in electronics alone, it would have been 25, 30 years later coming had it not been for all the money that got poured into the space program in the 60s. Private industry would not have moved that quickly with the development of integrated circuits and all the computer technology that we have today. It just wouldn't have happened that fast, nowhere near as fast. It would have gotten there eventually. But
I liked what that Brian did today when I showed him the images and the examples, and then I went away and picked 3 random dates to match up to the Epic camera on Doppler weather satellites for the United States, and they just all matched perfectly. It's like,
well, you know why they match? Because they're real.
Yeah.
That's actually a picture of the fucking weather on that day. That's why it matches.
Yeah. Hey, here's a quick question. I haven't been able to find this, or at least spend the time to find it. When the guy from NASA, Rob Simmons, was talking about it's Photoshop because it has to be. Was it the Discover satellite that had taken those images, or was it a different one? The best I can find is that I think it was the Discover satellite.
I'm not sure which one it was. It was one of the ones that was discovered in a polar orbit.
It was in low Earth orbit. That's all I really know off the top of my head, and I haven't been able to pin down because I can't find that entire video. All I can find is flat Earther clips of it.
Whichever satellite they were discussing at the time was one of the ones in polar orbit. Okay, so you're taking those orange peel shaped sections of the Earth as that thing goes around the poles.
Right.
And it leaves little gaps between the sections,
Yeah.
So they've got to stitch the whole thing together.
Yeah, I just wanted to be able to name the exact one. I think it's Discover, but I'm not sure.
Could have been. I don't know.
I'm sure he doesn't know, so I could probably say it's the Mickey Mouse fucking thing.
Who is it that you're debating, Cliff?
Zoom Truth.
Is he any good?
No.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. It don't matter then.
I can't get one that is good to come on to a debate.
Well, if that Craig is doing what, Spokesmo?
Spokesmo's totally useless.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's really weird. I sent him a message because we talked back and forth. He's a friend of mine, and I was like, this guy's just going to come on and say nonsense, but it's fine. It'll be entertaining because Craig's an entertaining guy. I know some people have issues with him, but
I realised something freaky. I was on a panel with Mick West. That's him. And
Oh wow, that had to be cool.
well, it was a PPC one. Just religious zealots and denials and all that kind of stuff, which was a little bit weird. But the interesting thing is I didn't know Mick West's history, because I don't know people in this. If you said Mick West, I just think, oh, it's someone that did a curve calculator. But what he actually does is he was one of the founding members of Neversoft. And Neversoft worked on the Tony Hawk series of games, which was one of the series of games that almost got me, which got me interested in games development, was one of them. But then secondary, they also did Guitar Hero. Now, indirectly, I've worked on Guitar Hero as well, which is something that he'd have been responsible for at the time, which is a bit weird, I just thought.
Cool.
I just found about the Photoshop, but because it has to be, it's a Blue Marble 2002.
Okay.
In 2002, NASA scientists and visualizers stitched together strips of brand new data in natural color collected over 4 months. It's from NASA.
But that was what the comment. I mean, the comment was that it's Photoshop because it has to be. Well, yeah, when you start stitching stuff together like that, of course you've got to go in there and clean it up a little bit if you want to make a real pretty picture for the for public consumption. And that's what they did. Okay. That's not
I would
faking.
like to see where. Okay.
Go ahead, Walker.
I would like to see where the NASA said that image is supposed to be one real image instead of just nice, beautiful picture.
They don't. That's the thing. They don't. NASA doesn't misrepresent this stuff. They never have.
Yeah, they are always transparent about these kind of things.
Sure.
What's up with these people?
Well, they're idiots. Was that? Somebody put something up there, and I don't know who showed that picture back in the day, the old weather satellites, and the way that you could actually receive that stuff and do it yourself. And it brought me back to my childhood, because a friend of mine and I, with the help of his dad in 1968, built a radio receiver and a device to be able to receive signals from weather satellites. And it was amazing. Those transmissions worked a lot like facsimile machines, and so we had to actually build a version of a facsimile machine that used. Actually, we were using photographic film for X-ray film, basically, and so it had to be processed like film does. But we actually did that and actually got weather system photographs, cloud photographs, in this guy's basement. So they can say all they want to about it being fake, but I stood there myself in the front yard aiming a helix antenna at the right spot in the sky, watching an S meter so that I could tell how strong the signal was. I mean, this shit is real. Now that I put everybody to sleep with my old stories.
I just don't know what to answer to that.
It's just a story.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, see, that's one of the benefits of being an old guy, because I remember all this shit. I remember I remember how panicked people were when Sputnik went up.
I would so have liked to see that.
I mean, that scared the shit out of everybody. It was like, holy crap. And we actually went out in my backyard and watched that damn thing. I will never forget that.
What, Sputnik itself?
Yeah. You could see that satellite.
Oh, that's awesome.
You could see it.
Everybody around me is pestering me to know what I want for my birthday, and I think I asked for a telescope because really, this is really something I want to see. Those kind of things.
That would be a good choice.
Yeah. Nice Celestron or something. I live in a bad part of the U.S. for that sort of thing. I live in well, not right in a city, but I mean close enough that there's a lot of light pollution. Plus, this part of the U.S. in the southeast, the terrain's not very good, so I don't have a whole lot of sky I can look at really between the houses right around me, and all of that.
A lot of obstruction.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'll have to go, but thanks for having a chat with me.
Yeah, same for me. I'm hesitating. Well, I'll take a 4-hour nap, and then I'll come back to see Schrodinger's cat debate. Yeah, I don't know yet.
I'll be looking for you.
Okay, I'll come.
I'll be heckling you in the side chat.
Yeah. The
Cliff.
thing is, I can't debate and look at the chat at the same time. I don't know how some debaters do it, because it just seems like you're splitting your attention. I've never been able to do it. I always have to go back the next day and look at the chat.
It amazes me when I watch Get On Jose or Sean G, and you go to them to look at the chat, and hell, they're talking to us and putting stuff in the side chat at the same time. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I can't do it, but yeah, I appreciate everybody that shows up. It's going to be a fun time.
Kick his ass.
I will kick his ass. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm out of here.
Yeah, same. I'll be watching the debate, I think. It will be fun.
Yeah. See you guys later.
See ya.
All right. Bye, guys. I'm going to go eat some lunch.